Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Isiuwe. So let's just get into it. If you're one of those people that you find it so difficult to read books, like you used to be a reader once, but now you pick up a book and you just find it so hard to read. You're going over one line 1,000,000 times again and again. This video is for you. So this year I made it an important goal for me that by the end of this year I'll have read 10 books. And I'm glad to announce that I've read more than 10 books this year. Starting off strong, we're going to go with, and this is the book that actually started getting me to read this year. No, it was the second book I read this year. This book is by Lola Shoneyin. See, when I read this book, it is such a good book. And I feel like it's underrated. I'm not even going to lie. I know that a lot of people know it, but I feel like it's still not talked about often enough. And when people talk about African literature, people usually talk about Chinua Achebe, talk about Chimamanda, talk about Buchi Emecheta, but this Lola Shoneyin, talk about that guy with the grey hair, Lola Shoneyin. But this particular person, no, this book was too good. It was way too good. It's called The Secret Lives of Baba Segi's Wives. The books that I usually read from African authors, because it's one thing to read books and another thing to read African authors. I used to feel like in the past that African authors had like a weird way of writing, that everything was just kind of one genre, like it was like it just suffer, and the stories were not that complex to me. It's almost like I related too much, and I started reading as a child because I wanted to escape, what I was seeing every day in my life. I just wanted something that, like a fantasy, that's like a movie. And African books to me were too real. You know what's funny? When I had been seeing reviews about the book and things to look out for or what the book is about, when I read the book, everything that I had seen online, it was like I was seeing it for the first time in the book. It was like, it wasn't a spoiler, but I just don't want to spoil it for you. If you have not read The Secret Lives of Baba Segi's Wives, go and watch it. Go and read it now. 10 over 10, that book. I'm not even going to lie. I gave it to my mom recently because she said she's been trying to get back into reading, and that's why I thought to make this video. She called me today and she was like, oh, Mandela, that book is amazing. She has been reading it and she's on page chapter 14, because I wanted her to get to the point where everything is, happening. So she told me that she's on chapter 14 and she woke up very early this morning to continue reading it. So I don't know how to spoil it for you, but just go and read The Secret Lives of Baba Segi's Wife. It will bring it out of your slump like mad. The second one is The Baby Is Mine, and I think it's by, who is it by? I think it's by Oyinkan braithwaite. If it's not by Oyinkan braithwaite, I don't know how I edit this video because I don't want to stand up and go and look for it. But I think it's by Oyinkan braithwaite, and I think she's the person. Yeah, she's the person that wrote My Sister Is a Serial Killer. The reason why I say is a book that will bring you out of your reading slump is that it's like maybe 100 pages long, or what? It's like a really tiny miniature book. It's really tiny, but it is amazing. Like the minute I opened it, I finished it in a night, obviously because it's a small book. But the minute I opened it, I could not drop it. I just kept flipping the pages. And I bought it a very long time. I think I read it this year. I bought it last year when I was buying one other book. And I couldn't drop it. I was like, huh? That was actually the first book I read this year. So when I read that book, I'm like, oh, okay. So maybe we should start, reading books. We should start investing in books. And then I read The Secret Lives of Baba Segi, and I'm like, oh, I made the greatest decision of my life this year. So going to the next one now. This is called Ogadinma. Now, the thing about Ogadinma and why it's on this list is because it's actually a very good story, and I actually could not put it down. The sad thing about it is that it's traumatic. Like, it's very traumatizing. It's a trauma book. Like, the thing I was complaining about African authors, that's it. It's very traumatic. Like, I'm just like, can this girl catch a break? Can this babe actually catch a break from when they gave birth to her mom, to her dad, to the person that she married, to the family that she stayed with? I'm like, bruh, can this girl actually catch a break? It's by Ukamaka Olisakwe, and it's an amazing book. Like, I say it again because in as much as we want books to have impeccable writing, it is very, very important that the books have good story to go with them. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's important that the story is not missing, it's not lost in the source. The next one is, this one is a recent book. In fact, it's the last book I just read because I belong to like a book club and we're reading it for the month. is called Only Big BumBum Matters Tomorrow. And hear me out. I am obsessed with the title because I feel like it's by Damilare, the person that wrote, the babe that wrote Nearly All the Men in Lagos Are Mad. And I'm angry at the title because I feel like it kind of trivializes the book. Only Big BumBum Matters Tomorrow is actually a great book. She's a magician with her titles, but I just feel like a different title might have been better, but obviously it might not have translated into sales, so she's probably a better copywriter than I am, so I give it to her. But that book, and the book was interesting. The book was very interesting, but I'll be honest, when you start the book, it's not like the others I've just called that is like a serious page turner, like you are just, what's happening? At first you're a bit confused because it's one of those books that they start in the beginning, but is actually the end. So yeah, it might be a bit confusing, but if you persevere, if you push on, you see what I mean. It's an amazing book, and it will make you want to, maybe I should read, if you haven't already, read Nearly All the Men in Lagos Are Mad. You want to read maybe other African books and other African, books from other African authors. Yeah. Yes, this next one, oh my god. I was telling Iberi, my friend, that this is arguably my best book of the year. I think this might be her first novel. I think it's Adorah Nworah. I think that's her name. God, please let that be right. And the book I'm talking about is Housewoman. You see, when I was talking about stories that are important, that was an interesting story. And I was marveled because after I read the book and I looked at her name, I went to go and figure out, I think it was even before I read the book. I was like, I don't know this author. Let me go and find that out. And I saw her and she's a young girl. She's like me. I'm like, oh my God, look at this talented princess. I swear to you right now, that book was amazing. I enjoyed the writing style. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the complexities. I enjoyed the characters. I hated the characters. For a writer to be able to do that, the person must be like brilliant. Wait, maybe I should read it for you. Okay, it says, I just want to read what's written behind. It says, one day in Lagos, young dancer Ikemefuna is put on a plane to Houston to meet her new husband, Na. Promises are made to her about her education, about the man she will marry, about her freedom. None of them are kept. It was a thriller. After I read it, I gave it to my friend. She was like, at first she was like, what's this book about? This book is weird. And no, the book is weird. It's crazy weird. After she was like, we're dissecting the book. We're talking about so many things. We're like, oh my God, that time and this and that time and that's what this book will do to you. That is what this book will do to you. So I really encourage you to read it. And I think those are 5 books I've mentioned already. And I want to read Born on a Tuesday because my friend just read it and she said it was amazing. Like, I have it right now in my house and I want to read it. A few months later, self-professed feminist Na finds a beautiful woman cooking in his parents' kitchen. They tell him Ikemefuna is his wife, there to give them the grandson they've been waiting for. She appears obedient and malleable, but she is no ordinary wife. In the Texas heat, patience runs on short supply and the atmosphere in the house becomes increasingly stained, increasingly violent. Desperation makes people do strange things. Unpredictable, that's like what somebody's comments. Unpredictable and unsettling. Housewoman is a delicious thriller you will never be able to forget. Bruh. The books I had mentioned earlier are books that you should actually get into if you want to resume your reading habits this year. That brings us to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me what you think about everything that I've said. Have you read Secret Lives of Baba Segi? Have you read Only Big BumBum Matters Tomorrow? Have you read The Baby's Mine? Have you read, what book did I mention again? Ogadinma. Have you read Housewoman? Let me know what you think and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.